The GT Cup Championship returns with a vengeance for rounds 3 and 4. With another full grid running on Pirelli tyres, we can expect the closest of races. The weekend starts right here at one of the world's most iconic sporting venues. Welcome to Brands Hatch.
John Dillon, AF Corsa.
Ian Payne.
Hi, Derek Johnston.
Chris Dockrell, car number 10.
Hi, my name's Alex Martin.
Hello, Kevin Riley.
John, just tell us how your qualifying was.
Qualifying was, it was good. We had obviously a clear track. Car that I'm obviously driving is a lot quicker than a lot of the cars out there. Stable qualifying, I think it could have gone a little bit quicker. On P4 on the grid, should have been on pole really, but one or two of the guys are just that bit quicker than me.
Ian, I know we just had qualifying. You were first in your class. Not a bad job so far.
Yeah, it's been going okay. The car was good. The boys have done a good job. We had a few problems in free practice. I don't think we got a quick lap in.
Lee, not a bad job in qualifying. I know you got pole. Just tell us, what was it like out there?
It was great. I mean, the track was getting quicker every lap, to be honest. So it was quite greasy first thing this morning because of the rain that we had, but it was getting quicker every lap. Unfortunately, we had a lot of waved yellows towards the end. So, yeah, I was pleased with the time, but I think there was quite a lot more in me and in the car, really. So.
Notice you got a little Batman sign there. Do you fancy yourself as Batman?
No, I'm Robin. I'm the younger one of the two.
Derek, quite slightly unlucky second race at Donington, wasn't it? How are you going to turn things around coming here at Brands?
Yeah, I mean, the second race at Donington, I got a little bit tangled up with some back markers, and I was just too eager to get on the power and just left the track and onto the grass, which is never a good thing. But we had a great race back to the front, and one more lap and we'd have took the win. So it was really exciting and a great race to drive. Brands GP is my first time here, so it's really just learn the track in the first race and then have a real go tomorrow.
Chris, we're here at Brands Hatch, round 3 and 4. Just tell us, what's the circuit like for you?
It's actually the first time I've ever driven at this circuit, so yeah, the higher practice and half a quali was sort of really just seeing where I was actually going and what the track was like. But yeah, the conditions have been quite difficult. I mean, it was rain, so obviously that's going to make things a bit more tricky. But yeah, when it actually comes to qualifying, the sun was out, so felt like it was all right.
So tell us, how was qualifying for you?
Yeah, it was good. There's still a few corners I'm not too sure on, but I think given a bit more practice to them, it should be all right.
Slightly different conditions now in terms of the weather for the race. So how's that going to affect it out there for you?
It should be good. The car felt good in practice. We had a wet setup and it was wet, and then it dried out for quali and we were still running a bit of a wet setup, so we lost a bit of time there, ended up second in class. But now it's wet again, we should be on form.
Not a bad weekend in Donington for you. What are you aiming for this weekend?
Same again, if not better. I think I can go better. I think I can go one better. I had 2 wins and a second, so 3 wins would be great this weekend.
Kevin, I know you had a few problems yesterday, didn't you? And you weren't really sure what would happen today, but you're managing to go out there, aren't you? Just tell us, what's the setup like with the car?
We have 2 brand new engines. The one we had in yesterday, I cooked 136 degrees. Didn't blow up, fortunately, but it was obviously well spent. So the guys have spent all night putting in another brand new engine. This has never turned. It's not run in. It's a bit stiff. It's important not to try too hard with it. All we've had is about 15 minutes of qualifying, very slowly. That's why I'm 16th on the grid. But I've now been told by Fred that it should be okay. We can sort of race it normally now.
Lee, pole position in your BMW Z4. Slight change for weather conditions since qualifying. What's the plan of action here for this race?
Well, I don't know. I think we're all kind of going into a little bit of the unknown, but it should be good fun. And this car's pretty good in the wet, so yeah, fingers crossed for a safe first lap at least. Yeah.
Sean, I know you're helping Mick out for this weekend. What instructions has he given you for this race?
To be fair to Mick, he's said very little. Just get on and do the best. Obviously the conditions are a bit tricky today, but we're a little bit out of position here in the challenge car with the GT3s around us, so I'm not sure if the wet conditions play into my hands or against them, but I guess we'll know in 5 minutes.
Lee Mole starts on pole position. The GTC pole is alongside him. That's the Ferrari 458 Challenge of Mick Dwayne and Sean Balfe, who'll be starting. The GTB pole is 7th on the grid. That's Chris Randall in the Lotus. And back to row 7, 13th overall for the GTA pole sitter. That's Ian Payne and Ben Tompkins. Ben starting the race in the Ginetta G50. Rolling start then for the cars coming down into clearways for the start of the two-driver 40-minute race, round 3 of the GT Cup Championship for 2013. A quick look there at David Cuff starting the Porsche 997 GT3. It's very wet out there. It could be wetter, to be absolutely fair, but we'll see how they get away. BMW heading a quartet of Ferraris on the grid. This is the view from the reigning champion. Derek Johnston starts third. On his outside, John Dillon. We're on board with Chris Dockerell, a couple of rows behind. Chris in the Par Motorsport prepared car, looks to his inside, but it's Lee Mole that gets a great start. There is Chris Dockerell, the lime green Ferrari, very easy to spot, a great livery, great young driver in the car as well as we go back on board with Derek Johnston's been passed. John Dillon up into third place. There's John in front of us. Conditions tricky. It looks like Derek is going to try and get back on the outside line. Derek, of course, had a good meeting at Donington Park in event 1 of the year. A first, second and third in the 3 races. That means that he is second in the championship with his driving partner Mike Edmonds. Championship leader Alex Martin racing in the yellow Ferrari. We'll see that there it is, running in 5th position on the road at the moment. But Lee Mole out in the countryside here on the Grand Prix circuit at Brands. A first time for many of the drivers on this wonderful facility. Not the greatest spectator venue, although when you've got the longer races like this, you can afford yourself the opportunity to have a wander around the circuit and enjoy and reminisce about the days when the Grand Prix used to be here. But Lee Mole it is that leads. Remember, he took a class-winning race 2 at Donington Park. So to be out front, this is a cracking start to the meeting for him, and no pressure at the moment from John Dillon. So through Clark Curve, across the line they go again. Sean Balfe second at the moment, John Dillon third. And it's Dillon that needs to put the pressure on Balfe for second place, and if he does so, that will take the pressure off Lee Mole. As we said, 40-minute race, so there's plenty of time for the drivers to sort themselves out. Mole, you can see, taking pretty much the traditional racing line. Nice, uncompromised line, due to the fact that he's not really being challenged at the moment. Sean Balfe in the 87 car running second. He'll be handing over to Mick Dwayne after the pit stops. We're expecting the pit stop window around about lap 7. And back in 4th place at the moment, Derek Johnston. We go on board with Derek. Won't be too concerned at the moment to be in 4th, though he has got the 2nd place GTC car of Alex Martin a few lengths behind him. And that's a problem for Ben Tompkins, sharing the pole-sitting Ginetta G50, so I don't think it's going to cause any problems for the front runners. Jacques Diver is there leading at the moment. Chris Dockerell looking at the inside line. Dockerell coming down the inside at Paddock, and I think he's gone through. Grabs the apex. That's very difficult anytime, let alone in the wet. Jacques Diver on the outside, side by side as they come up towards Druids. Still side by side. Diver's braving it out on the outside, and if he can hang on, he'll grab the inside line for Graham Hill Bend. Brilliant racing from the 2 of them down the hill. They'll need to be mindful they don't use too much exit. Look at that. The Chris Dockerell getting it slightly sideways, but he keeps the momentum going and takes the position. Wonderful piece of driving So as you'd expect, perhaps a GTO car going past the GTC, but that was good, clean, fair, respectful racing from these drivers. The Lotus of Chris Randall coming up as well. I think he's managed to pass Jacques Diver too. Now this quartet of cars very much paints a picture about the GT Cup Championship. 4 different marques sharing the same piece of tarmac effectively. Ferrari of Rupert Martin, the Lotus of Richard Chamberlain, Mike Seller in the Porsche, and then the BMW M3 of Jeff Wyatt down at the back of it. And Chamberlain, the nimble little Lotus, I think enjoying the damp conditions. Has a think about a look up the inside into Druids. It's a tight line in for him. I don't know if Mike Seller's going to close up. Great to see Mike racing in the GT Cup Championship. Ex-BRSCC Porsche driver, rallycrosser back in the day. This is home meeting, comes from Sittingbourne in Kent and enjoying his outing. Has also raced in Brit car. Chamberlain dropping back just a little bit at the moment on Rupert Martin. And Chamberlain goes wide, and up the inside goes Seller. I think there's a problem for Chamberlain. So as they go on to the Grand Prix loop, we'll see whether the Lotus can recover from that moment.